Hello all, my name is Vignesh Mishra. This video has been brought to you by Gearhouse. Herein, I'll guide you through the diploma level courses. This video is made specially for those who have just completed their foundational level and will enter their first term of diploma in September of 2024. As is the tradition, we'll invoke Lord Ganesha. Shri Ganadhipataye Namaha. Over to the next slide. For the data science students, there are two diplomas, namely Diploma in Programming and the Diploma in Data Science. In each of these diplomas, there are 5 4-credit courses and 1 3-credit course, and 2 projects, of course, each with 2 credits. Moving on, the cost per credit as was in the May 2024 term.
For theory courses, the cost per credit is 2500. That roughly translates to 10,000 for every 4-credit course and 7,500 for 3-credit course. On the other hand, the project courses cost 2,500 each, that is 1,250 per credit.
Some courses cannot be done without completing or opting for other courses. Such courses can be said to have prerequisites or core requisites, which we'll see more about in the next slide. The prerequisites are courses that you need to complete in the previous term. An example is English 1 and English 2, where English 1 was the prerequisite of English 2. You could not start with English 2 without completing English 1. Moving on to core requisites. Core requisites refer to those courses which at the very last you need to complete it with the course you want to take, which it is core requisite of. Maths 2 and Stats 2. Here's an example. Maths 2 was the core requisite for Statistics 2. This meant that to opt for Stats 2, you either needed to complete Maths 2 in one of the previous terms, or at the very least, you should at least take both in the same term. Moving on to the next slide. So here you can see these are all the programming diploma subjects: DBMS, Java, SC, PDSA, MAD1, MAD2, and the projects of those app development courses. Talking about DBMS first, it has an OPP which has a compulsory Python connectivity question which you will definitely need to complete or you'll not pass the course. Many people get stuck in this course because of that connectivity. You can take this course directly since there are no prerequisites or core requisites of DBMS. The course itself is not very difficult. I'd rate it somewhere around 3.5 out of 5. It is moderately difficult. And one more special thing about it is that there are SQL commands that you will get to learn in DBMS. Now, talking about MAD1, of which the core requisite is DBMS, represented by that orange line. MAD1 cannot be taken without either completing DBMS or without taking DBMS in the same term as MAD1. Same for MAD1 project, which cannot be taken before MAD1. So in the MAD1 or modern application development, you'll come to know about web app development and other related things. Mostly the frameworks that you'll learn will include Flask, which is a Python library. You'll learn HTML, for which you'll have some lab assignments. You'll also have some other necessary skills that you'll develop and put to use in the MAD1 project. The MAD1 project in itself is not as difficult as the next MAD2 project, but it is still a bit difficult. I'd rate the MAD1 course as 3 out of 5 in difficulty rating. The MAD2 course is built upon MAD1 and you cannot take the MAD2 course before completing MAD1. It is a prerequisite MAD1 and it has more complex frameworks that you will put to use. But since you cannot take it in your first term, moving on to Java. Programming concepts using Java has 2 OPPs, and questions that usually come in the quiz 1, quiz 2 and end term relate more to the previous year questions. So if you thoroughly learn those previous year questions, understand the underlying patterns and concepts that are asked, you can easily score in those. But when it comes to the OPP, many find it hard. In fact, many of them fail and repeat this course only because of its OPP or just repeat the OPP. I would rate it as fairly tough in comparison to other courses, and I would rate it around 4 out of 5. The next course is System Commands. This course has underwent a lot of changes in the previous few terms. There used to be 2 OPPs, but currently there's just 1. There's some BPTs and a lot of things that you will be required to do in the virtual machine, which you will be taught in this course. You'll be taught Bash, Linux, so on and so forth. It is just a 3-credit course, but I think it is, for me, the hardest course in the programming level. This 3-credit course, I'd rate it as fairly tough. I'd give it a full 5 out of 5. And just one more thing, that the OPP itself is also very difficult. Moving on to PDSA, which is next in toughness to system commands, are rated 4.75 without even describing anything about the subject. In the PDSA, there are a lot of things that you will be required to learn. It is very important from the point of view of career as well. So in this, you'll be learning about algorithms, about time complexity, space complexity, about different data structures, and so on. The OPP used to be very tough, but in the last two terms, the students have described it as very easy compared to the previous terms, but I'll still rate it as harder than the other courses because of the vast literature that you need to know to be able to score marks. I'll rate it as 4.75. I'll reiterate that rating. Moving on to the diploma in data science subjects. In these subjects, you can see that there are two main divisions, one in light blue and another in light pink. One is more geared towards machine learning, and the other side that we have made, the two neat separations, is related to business and its data and its analysis. The machine learning foundations course, which can be taken in the first term itself, is a math heavy course. If you did well in maths too, you'll certainly ace this. You'll learn a lot about machine learning, its underlying mathematical foundations, as the course name suggests, but it is fairly easier than a lot of the other courses. I'll rate it around 3.25 out of 5. The next course that I'll describe is very similar to machine learning foundations, but a bit tougher. So we'll move on to MLT. I'd rate it 4 out of 5 in difficulty terms. You can take it. It has a prerequisite called MLF, which I already described, but I would not advise you to take it in the first term, as it is even more maths heavy than MLF and has a lot of complexities. I'll rate it as 4 out of 5 tough. Then there is another course called TDS, or Tools in Data Science, which is of 3 credits. The course itself is not that difficult, but there's something called an ROE, which is basically an open internet exam where you can Google, you can use ChatGPT, you can use whatever you want. You can even discuss with friends through a certain discourse link, but it is generally a very tough exam. MLP, you cannot take it in the first term, but it is easy course similar to Java, where you can go through it, breeze through it easily using the PYQs. The MLP project, which has a core requisite of MLP, is one of the easiest projects. Moving on to the second division, the business related courses. Business Data Management, BDM, is one of the easiest courses out there. I'll rate it 2 out of 5. BA, Business Analytics, is slightly tougher, but I'll not give it a rating since it has gone through a lot of changes and you cannot take it in the first term, as it has a prerequisite called BDM. The BDM project is one of the toughest projects, not because it has tough concepts involved, but because it cannot be completed in 1 month. It needs 3 months. It has several stages. Moving on to the next slide. So the suggested pathways, here are some suggested pathways from the grading document of May 2024 term. If you want to do it really fast and you're not doing any other degree, you can do it in 4 terms. If you have some other engagements, you can also do it in 5 terms. And if you're confident that you will not be able to do it in 5 terms, then you can also do it in 6 or 7 terms respectively. Moving on to the next slide, you can check these in the grading document as well. Next, we have some newly introduced guidelines for you guys. You must complete 3 courses and 1 project at the end of 3 terms, 6 courses and 2 projects at the end of 6 terms, 9 courses and 3 projects at the end of 9 terms, and all the courses and all the projects maximum 12 terms. All the best. This video has been made possible thanks to Yatharth and Dipanshu.